Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, just real quick, I just want to talk about the topic of speaking on what you know. A lot of times people speak on things that they think, things that they heard, but they don't speak about things that they know. It's really important that we speak on what we know, okay? Um, One of the things that I've learned in life is that it's really important to speak out of genuine, bona fide experience. It's important to speak out of personal insights that you've gained because you've been through that experience. And even if that experience wasn't necessarily a victory, there's a lot that you can learn from failure. There's a whole lot to learn from failure. I can attest to that personally. I haven't met all my personal goals. I haven't achieved all the things I wanted to see. But one thing I can say is that I don't quit and I don't stop. And most successful people in life have had ventures that have failed one or two times. And it's really all how you look at it. It's a perspective. But at the end of the day, when we speak, we should speak out of what we know and not about what we think. Okay? A lot of people got opinions. So, for example, I'm a man. I'm 39 years old. I don't know what it's like to be a 50-year-old man. I don't know what it's like to raise grandchildren. Can't speak on it, at least not authoritatively. And even if I did have grandchildren, it don't mean that I could speak on it in a sense that I'm the end all be all. What my opinion is. So I can't speak on that, but I can speak about having three boys. I can speak about raising children. I can speak about being married for over 10 years. I can't speak about going through hard times. I can't speak about from coming from the bottom and building yourself up, and that's by the grace of God that I'm in a much, much better place today. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of what I do. I'm proud of the skill sets that I've developed, and that's all by the grace of God. He's taught me. He's been patient with me. But I can't really speak authoritatively on things that I haven't done. And sometimes I see people speaking authoritatively or speaking with opinions on things that they really ain't got no business speaking on. I mean, everyone can have an opinion. Everybody can have an opinion. I mean, opinions are a dime a dozen. But the thing I learned is don't count the opinions, weigh the opinions, weigh them. The source of the opinion. Where is it coming from? What have they accomplished? What life skills do they have? What results have resulted in their life because of their actions and their choices? So it's really important to keep that in mind. Don't count the opinions, weigh the opinions. If you've never raised children, it's gonna be hard for me to listen as a man for you to talk about how to raise children. If you've never been married and know what it's like to go through sacrifice and to know what it's like to uh, um, start up a venture and pioneer work together, whether that be a business, a ministry. If you've never done that, man, it's really hard to speak on that. If you've never been close to your marriage almost dissolving because of life problems and circumstances and just learning how to do things, you know what I mean? It's really hard to speak about how to work through the hard times. That's a beautiful thing. Like if you've never ever had any problems in your marriage, you had a perfect marriage. And I'm not saying like, that you have no problems, but I'm saying like it's never been that bad in your marriage, never been close to it. Yeah, you can't, you have a lot to say on the areas of strengths and how it worked for you. But I think one thing I appreciate about being on the painful end of things a lot of times is I have a pathway out. Like I've learned how to go from a place of survival to a place of thriving to a place of doing better. And like I can detail that, like what that looks like, how to go about it. You know what I'm saying? What it takes between a man and a woman, what it takes between a man and his children. But I mean, obviously, that's not the only perspective. And there's a lot more to be said, and every man has blind spots. I got blind spots, but I can speak authoritatively from my own experience because I have been there, done that, and been able to survive and come out on top. Seeing God by God's grace to being able to do what felt like the impossible at times. So, you know, speaking on ministry, speaking on pastors, speaking on things that maybe you ain't never done, you know. Be careful with that, man. Be careful with that, man. Speak on what you know, not what you think. If you ain't never pastored, if you ain't never took responsibility for a congregation, if you ain't ever started a business and you don't know the pressure and the stress and you don't know what it's like and the behind the scenes stuff and, marketing and all that stuff, man, stay in your lane. This ain't to put no one down, it's just to be realistic, man. Speak on what you know. There's a lot of cats who've done a lot of things that I've never done. And so I never speak as if I know. I can understand to a degree, but I never speak as if I know. Because if I do, I'm being fake. I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been there, I ain't done that. How can I speak on it? So, it's just something to keep in mind, man. Speak on what you know, not what you think. Speak from experience. Tell us about your insights. Whether it was a victory, how'd you win? If it was a loss, how'd you lose? How'd you overcome? And that's the most important thing to me is like, man, tell me about the pathway to resilience. Tell me about your fighting spirit. Tell me about how you came through and how you came over. How you entered, you took off from the land of Egypt and got in the land of promise, Talk about that. Talk about that journey because everyone's struggling, man. But let's talk about how we get through things. Let's talk about what we know, not what we think. Have a blessed day.